What's up, buddies? What, Jim? I'm joined by Benson505 and
Hello.
Bryer Nick Showcase. We're going to be discussing the Cartoon Network series Regular Show. I'm pretty excited to talk about this. It's a show I've been watching loads, but I haven't seen it much recently though. Until I rewatch season 1 because I got that on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been watching it?
I mean, for me, yeah. When it comes to me in the show, yeah, it was kind of like, I think I was there since the beginning, I think, because this was like 2010 when it first came out, at least in America, at least. Mm-hmm. Not sure when it was kind of the same time in UK, I'm assuming.
I think so. The first few seasons were already out when I watched it.
Okay. But yeah, 2010, that was kind of a big moment for Cartoon Network, I think, because so many of the big shows from them really came out around that time. I know Adventure Time was another huge show for them, and that kind of spearheaded this kind of new renaissance for Cartoon Network because
Amazing World Gumball.
Yeah, Gumball was another one. Yeah. So all these shows kind of revigorized the whole channel, I'd say, because I think before that they were kind of in this like weird experimental phase where you weren't really sure where they were going with certain things. It was kind of already past like the classic era, like, you know, like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or Edda and Eddie, like it's already Powerpuff Girls, like it was already past that, and we're kind of in this middle phase. But again, once Adventure Time hit the scene, that's kind of when, okay, Cartoon Network has something good in their hands now. And Regular Show came out somewhere around that time as well. And that was that cartoon was very different compared to what they were doing. We'll go more in depth, but again, the premise of this show was just like, it's called Regular Show, so you're kind of like, what the heck does that mean? And I remember the promotion for it, and I'm like, and generally the promotion was just like this huge wide shot, and then you see the I guess they're on the lawnmower, they're just slowly passing by.
I remember,
and that was all they would show, and I was like, what is that? What are they? What is this supposed to be? So yeah, but I checked it out anyway, and it definitely, I wouldn't say it's a regular show, but it definitely blew expectation, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid. I remember very briefly watching the experimental era of Cartoon Network and being absolutely disgusted by it as a kid. I'm like, what is this? This is not cartoons. I would end up switching to like Nickelodeon instead. But then as soon as like the big cartoons came out, like Regular Show, Adventure Time, and especially Amazing World of Gumball, I started watching Cartoon Network a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It was around 2013, 2014 to me. For about 3 years, always watching was Cartoon Network. I think Regular Show was my favorite one.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's my favorite cartoon show.
One of my favorites, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking we'd talk about each of the main characters. Our thoughts on all of them. So the main two characters, of course, Mordecai, Rigby.
Yeah.
What do you think, those guys?
Yeah, those two. I mean, they are the main characters, and so we always got a lot of this stuff has to be. Most of the stuff is revolved around them. Of course, Mordecai is this tall blue jay character who's kind of the more responsible one of the two, even though he'll still kind of goof off with Rigby, who's this raccoon, who's just this delinquent, lazy, doesn't really want to do the hard work, but he's kind of has to. But yeah, it's very interesting. Of course, when the show starts, again, they're kind of these slackers who just want to have fun, just trying to get by, working at a park as their job. And I mean, their journeys go in such crazy directions, because I know, I guess I'll talk about Mordecai first. With Mordecai, I mean, like I said, he was kind of the more responsible one of the two, but he was still kind of goof off. But as the series progressed, you know, there's that whole subplot with his dating. There's like this whole plot about his dating situation and just how off and on it is, just how, and that was kind of, I think that was, those episodes are kind of where that was like where his character was at his worst, is when it always revolved around his dating thing. So that was like a big thing. But Rigby, on the other hand, who again started as this delinquent, you see him change over the show, where he's kind of slowly starts to take control of his life. And I guess we're gonna go. I feel like should we not do spoilers or no?
I was gonna go more in depth on. I was gonna talk more about how he like got evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll let you explain, Nick.
So, before I go over Rigby, I just gotta say, the beginning of the show, you know, as you said with Mordecai, he's the responsible one. He was always the one who was like, we shouldn't do this, you know, we should get back to work and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, as the series went on, he became a little more annoying. He slightly grew more resentment towards Rigby the more he got responsible. And, well, let's go into Rigby. So Rigby, he was irresponsible. He was lazy. We all know that. But as the series goes on, he starts to get more responsible. He gets a girlfriend, Eileen, which I think we're going to talk about her too. But the more he dates her, the more he dates her, the more like he has a strive to be more responsible. He ends up getting his high school diploma, and that's where Mordecai starts to get more resentment towards him, because he in the earlier season, Mordecai more has the control, because he's like, I'm the responsible one. I'm the one who has the high school diploma, this, and that. As Rigby starts to become more responsible, and once he gets the high school diploma, Mordecai really hates that. He's like, well, how could he? You know, he starts to become more selfish. Mordecai. In the earlier seasons, Rigby's the more unlikable character of the two. As the seasons go by, I'm gonna say Mordecai becomes the more unlikable of the two, and Rigby, he went from being like one of the worst characters of the show to being one of the best characters. And I gotta say, they do a great job at evolving Rigby from being just this lazy slacker who could be annoying at times to being this. He's not completely responsible in the show, but he becomes a really good character to watch and see how he evolves, especially with him dating with Eileen and all that.
Yeah, I think that's probably some of the sweetest moments, I think, of the show.
My favorite moment was when like Mordecai is like, "What do you know about dating?" He's like, I'm dating Eileen," and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" He's like, because I don't want to shove it in your face like you do," kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that part. But I'll give the torch to Adam on his thoughts.
Yeah, I've got to agree as well. I think Rigby got better as the season went on, but I think unfortunately Mordecai, he got a bit more selfish as the series went on.
Yeah, especially when he hijacked Muscle Man's wedding.
Yeah,
that was the worst of it.
Yeah, that was probably him as lowest.
Yeah, that and the graduation where he's like, "I did this for you," and
yeah.
He's still one of my favorite registered characters, though.
Yeah,
I think he's in my top 3. Rigby will also be in there, but I think Skips is my favorite character. We'll talk more about him in a few minutes. But I think Mordecai and Rigby are quite relatable characters, and they're just very entertaining to see together.
Cool.
Yeah. I think those two together was one of my favorite parts of the whole show. So I guess we'll talk about their boss, Benson.
Right. Yeah.
The gumball machine.
The gumball machine. It's funny. Yeah. We have a gumball machine, and there was a show called Amazing World of Gumball.
Yeah,
coincidence?
Quite ironic.
I think not.
But Benson. I mean, there's like a category of characters, and those characters being, you know, when you were a kid, you hated them, but when you get older, you're like, okay, I get their pain now. And I can think of 2 characters like that. That's Squidward from SpongeBob and that's Benson from regular show. Because yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, oh man, this guy's totally so uptight. Like, why is he gotta be so harsh? But and all that stuff. But again, when you get older, you realize, yeah, if I was in Benson's shoes, yeah, I would be pretty angry too. So yeah, it's kind of a similar thing. Again, there's a nice progression with him because again, in the beginning of the show, he is this angry boss who was just always on their case on everything. But again, as the series progresses, you kind of start to see him start to loosen up a bit more. He starts to see the employees more like friends. He starts to hang out with them. He starts to be not as as hot-headed as he once was. Again, he's always helping them out, tries to be there for them when he
he's
can.
a really good drummer.
And really
He's a
good
really
drummer
good
too.
drummer.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
I watched that episode a couple of days ago. It's such an epic episode.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, it's
one.
one of my favorites, that one.
Yeah, but yeah, and again, he starts. Yeah, he's another character that really evolved as the series progressed. And again, now that I'm older, yeah, you start to relate to him more. And so yeah, I think he's also a character that's really strong.
He does a really good job at looking after the park as well. It would probably be a complete disaster if he wasn't there.
And also another thing he has to deal with, of course, with Pops, his dad, who's always yelling at him. Yeah, Maylard. Yeah, so that's like another reason why you can kind of have some sympathy for him.
Yeah, this is a really good character. I love Benson. He's I'm just gonna get it out of the way. He's my favorite character of the show. He's such a cool boss. I will say he is a little bit more angrier in the earlier episodes, but for good reason. I don't blame him at all for getting angry at Mordecai and Rigby. They're lazy. I just think Benson's just a really good character. He does get better throughout the series.
I agree.
The boss character just gets even better. I just love how he's like laid back. Like, I feel like if he was an actual boss, he would be like a great boss to work for. Like a cool guy to like hang out with, and when you're doing the right thing, someone to actually you would love to work for. Any other boss would have fired Mordecai and Rigby way long ago.
Yeah.
Benson's he's just the chill guy like that for letting them be higher there still. Probably well, as a kid I hated him, of course, but there was an episode when I was a kid when I watched it. It kind of turned my knob on. It turned my knob for hating him to actually really liking him and understanding him. It was the episode where the cart gets busted and he has to drive over there. And Rigby and Mordecai, of course, sneak up, try to convince them not to fire them. But like in the middle of the drive, they start to get like Mordecai and Rigby were like, "Why do you hate us so much?" And he's like, "I don't hate you guys. I just hate the things that you do." And they start to get really along, and Benson starts to doze off, and they're like, "How about we drive?" And blah blah blah. And then they go to arcade and all that, and then Benson gets really upset, and that's the point where I'm like, "Wow, Mordecai and Rigby are so irresponsible." And even as a kid, I understood it after that episode, and for some reason that really switched the knob for me from really not liking him to really liking his character. That's one of my favorite episodes because of that.
What series was that? Was it 2 or 3?
Forgot which. Yeah, I don't know when that was.
I think it might have been 3.
Maybe.
That's not, yeah, I'm not that familiar with the seasons that they're in. I just know the episodes. So I just remember seeing that episode and being like, wow, like Benson actually trusted them on something, and they like went behind his back because they wanted to play video games. And I'm like, even as a kid, I knew that was just harsh of Mordecai and Rigby to do that. And from then on, I'm like, I've more taken Benson's side for everything for the most part. I mean, sometimes Benson did some pretty mean things, like he ate their world's the burger thing or whatever. That was mean. Burger, yeah. And then he ate their death sandwich, and I'm like, he's like, he was like, oh, they ate my grilled cheese, so I'm gonna eat that. I'm like, you ate their their burger already, like, so now you're eating their death sandwich, and I'm like bro needs to stop. But there's a couple of things that he does that I kind of don't like, but for the most part, I agree with what he says, and I feel like his love stories are a lot more interesting than Mordecai's love stories because
Yeah,
he's not like overly simping for a character. He's just
Yeah.
like
I
that's
think
what,
Rigby's. I think Rigby's got the best love story though
Oh yeah,
I
I agree.
with
I agree,
Eileen.
yeah, I agree as well. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Benson. He's he's an absolutely amazing character.
Now we'll talk about my favorite character in the regular show, and that's Skips,
Mhm.
played by Luke Skywalker himself.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Always funny.
Uh,
It's like so many characters. You like so many characters he's voiced that you didn't know he voiced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's always there when you need him the most.
Right.
There's always crazy stuff happening at the park. And you seem to know what to do every single time.
Yeah.
He's also had quite a tragic backstory as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is definitely a standout character. I mean, he's this big Yeti guy, so it's kind of hard to ignore.
Yes.
And yeah, he's another character that's like, I mean, you always kind of liked him there, but I think in the beginning he was kind of more like, you can kind of tell he in the beginning he was kind of more like a standoff character. Like he was always kind of doing his work without fuss, and he was usually there just to help Mordecai and Rigby get out of trouble. But he's another character I think as the series progressed, he starts to open up a lot more. Again, I know Adam mentioned it that he gets to the point he actually starts telling him about his backstory and how he lost his girlfriend back in like the 1700s, I think, and basically how he became immortal. And just in some ways you kind of feel bad because and you kind of do feel bad for immortal characters because they can't die and they're going to see all their loved ones pass away and yet they're still moving forward. So yeah, again, I've always enjoyed Skips. He's another one of my favorites. Probably maybe he's either my second or first. He's one of those two. But yeah, he's a great character. And yeah, I enjoy him a lot.
I love Skips. Yeah, you nailed it in the beginning seasons. He was just more of a like some of the times he was just like he just grunted sometimes. And there was like one team where Benson's like, "Oh, go there." He was like, yeah, like very little character. But slowly as the series went on, he, like you say, he opened up and he just got more and more interesting. And he's definitely in my top 3 of favorite characters of that show. He's a character that got really, really good. Like when he got good, he got really good. And I can't ignore that one episode when they showed one of my favorite bands, the Beach Boys. How he gets around. We'll talk about when we get to my favorite episodes. I'll go more in depth on that episode. But yeah, I love me Skip. I love me some Skips. He's great. Or if we're gonna talk about his first name, Walks.
Walks, yeah.
Next character we'll talk about is Pops.
Yeah.
I think he's had the biggest character growth, I'd say.
Probably the most unexpected one.
Yeah, he saved the world. From anti Pops.
Right. Yeah, Pops definitely was an interesting. That was an interesting one character journey of him, because when he's introduced, he's just this kind of loony old individual. Always looked like his head's up in the clouds, but he's very jolly. Even early on, like you can tell he was a very caring individual. Like he was always very patient with Mordecai and Rigby. He was always kind of he kind of had their backs most times. And I mean, I've always enjoyed. I was always enjoyed Pops in the early seasons, especially all his quirks. Like instead of giving out money, he gives out lollipops instead.
From Lollyland.
Yeah, from Lollyland. Yeah. And I funny enough, if I remember correctly, I know the creator Pops is kind of like the oldest character he created, because I think when he was in college, he made this like animation about, and he had this like cartoon he made for college, and one of the characters had resembled Pops, so he kind of brought that and brought it to here, and they actually do reference that cartoon in the series finale at some point. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, like it just was such an unexpected turn, because I remember when there was a period where I left. I didn't watch regular show for a number of years while it was airing. I guess I was getting to other things. So, but I did remember seeing the last episode when it came out, and again, I had no knowledge of any of the previous ones in that season. And when they revealed Pops was this like was the chosen one, I was like, wait, when did this come up? So, but yeah, but I went with it. But and even when I did when I didn't, even when I learned that, I was still pretty upset when he did die at the end.
It was very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they played David Bowie's Heroes at the end. So that really sold it.
Yeah. It's probably the most emotional part of the whole series.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's definitely up there. But yeah, it's just Pops is just a fun character. He's one of those characters where how can you not like? He's just a joy to watch. And so
instantly likable.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, Pops is I think Pops might be my favorite. I think now that I think about it.
He's got a brownish taxi.
Oh yeah, not a British taxi, but a brownish taxi.
Yeah, I really like Pops. He's a really good character. I will admit I didn't like him at all in the beginning. I thought he was this is when I first saw him as a kid. I thought he was a really annoying character. I'm like, I really don't like him. But the further the series went on, he got a lot better. He definitely developed a better character. Probably one of my favorite episodes, pre-chosen one episodes, was the Tants episode when Pops bought them Tants and
table that's also pants.
Yes.
And
Pants, yeah.
They gave it to Muscle Man, and Pops was like, "Hey, you want to go for lunch?" And and then they're like, "We need a Tants back," and then they break it, and then they tried making off-brand Tants, and they end up going through a whole fight for it with the company, and it's like we're bad friends, but this and that, and Pops was like, "You're not bad friends. You tried getting those Tants back just to make me happy. That's what counts." I'm like, that's nice of him. Even despite what happened, Pops still forgave him because he knew that they were trying to make it up to him. I just think Pops is a really likable character, though, as the series goes by.
Next two characters we'll talk about. You can't really have one without the other. That's Muscle Man and High Five Ghost.
Yeah,
but those very funny characters together.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I was watching the show, I used to not like them at all. Those were the two characters I never liked when I was a kid. Because they're kind of because they're the pranksters, always picking on the main characters. Which when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I don't like that. But again, when you get older, you're kind of you get to know them a bit more, and especially as the series goes on, again, you know about them. And basically when I've watched many videos on regular show, and what I've heard is that Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, they're kind of supposed to be the opposites of Mordecai and Rigby, because they they have their moments where they kind of goof off as well, but at the end of the day, Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, they will get the work done, while Mordecai and Rigby, they kind of go on their own thing, but they're kind of they are supposed to be the real responsible ones compared to our main characters, which you see, because again, they're doing a lot of the hard work. They're not really complaining so much. They're just doing what they need to do. And yeah, I'd say High Five Ghost is definitely the one that I feel doesn't get as much development. He's kind of
agree. Yeah,
he probably gets the least amount of screen time.
Favorite regular show characters. I find the other Ghost more interesting.
Oh yeah, low five Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they've had some good moments, and I think Muscle Man definitely has more standout moments. I think another one of my favorite episodes, if I were to recall, was we learned about his dad and how all these years he thought his dad was a truck driver, only for that to be just a prank. But there's a very sweet. That's when you kind of see a more vulnerable side of him. That's kind of where his relationship with Mordecai and Rigby. That's when he starts to loosen up as well and starts to see him more as friends rather than just rivals. So I think that's pretty cool, and yeah, another characters that, again, they're still not my all-time favorite characters, but I'd say they had good moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way of putting it. I like Muscle Man. He was okay in the early seasons. He got a lot better throughout the series. That episode you mentioned before was great. I also really like the mentoring episode where Muscle Man tries to get Rigby to actually become a good worker. I really like the episode where I like the wedding episode. I think it really showcases how great Muscle Man is. Despite there is one problem in that episode. I think Muscle Man becomes a really good character. I know he's good. I know he ends up becoming good friends with Mordecai and Rigby throughout the series. He definitely gets a lot better. He still isn't one of my favorites. He's good, but he's not one of my favorites. My least favorite of all the workers is probably High Five Ghost. He's just a one-dimensional character. He never really, like you say, he never got developed, really.
He's also voiced by Mordecai as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, he's a very okay character. He's definitely my least favorite of the main workers there, of all the workers. That I even think Thomas had more development than he did when he got well. We'll talk about Thomas when we.
Oh yeah, I got stuff to say about Thomas.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, High Five Ghost. Actually, I'd say he's my least favorite character in the entire show. He's just, I never cared for High Five Ghost. He was just kind of to me, he was like the Rigby of Muscle Man, of the Mordecai and Rigby, and then there's High Five Ghost, Muscle Man and High Five Ghost. I'd say he was just kind of there just to be the second, to be the Rigby of the Mordecai and of the Muscle Man, whatever. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've not really got too much else to say about those two characters. I think they are good additions to the whole series.
Mm-hmm. I think.
And the guy voices Muscle Man also voices Benson and Pops.
Yeah, great range there.
Yeah, brilliant voice actor there, doing all three of them. But I guess when I move on to the character of Thomas, we'll talk a bit about him.
Well, I'll give a brief thought on Thomas. He's a character that's kind of there for the most part, but there's a part where he gets really interesting. That's my thought. I'll let Bryer pave the way of what happens.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting character.
Yeah. From what I've heard, I've done a little bit of research, and if I'm correct, I read that the reason why they brought Thomas in was solely to have a character where it's kind of like Meg from Family Guy, where everyone just kind of dumps on him for no reason. And that was going to be his whole shtick, because you see Muscle Man kind of prank him a lot, he was always the punching bag for Muscle Man, and that was going to be his whole shtick. But I guess at some points they thought, this is getting boring now. So instead of actually making Thomas, giving Thomas an actual thing, they thought, why not? Let's make him a Russian spy.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Exactly. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, okay, so there's that. And Nick, yes, that. And I'm like, it was just so weird. And I remember when after I watched the episode, I was like, what was the point of Thomas then? Because after all that, I'm like, man, Thomas was kind of pointless now that I think about it. Again, he was only there for that one shtick, but decided to just give him that one inch backstory to kind of make it, give him probably the craziest send off you can give a character.
Yeah. I can't remember how many episodes he was in.
Yeah, no.
There weren't many with him in.
Yeah, not many. But yeah,
just
overall, he's
remember-
fine. He's fine, but
Yeah,
he's
I think
he's definitely
fine.
one of the more forgettable
Fine
characters
character.
in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, I agree. And the biggest episode I remember him in was Exit 5B, but that's about it. After that, he just like Bryer said, he just becomes like the Meg of the show for the very few episodes he does end up being in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last few characters we should talk about are the love interests for the main characters.
Okay, yeah.
But I think Eileen's the best of the four of them, though.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, that and CJ, I like CJ.
Yeah, CJ was cool.
CJ was like, I don't know how Mordecai managed to screw up her. She was just.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, I think they're all quite good characters. But Eileen's the best out of those four love interests.
Yeah, I think she was probably the show's breakout character, because again, she started out as just like just just a person crushing on Rigby, but yeah, as again, she kind of gets more of a main character status, and I know in the last season she was basically a main character at that point.
I thought that was great that they did that. I think, in my opinion, I felt like she should have been more in the show than just the last season. I think I've always liked Eileen. I always thought she was a good character, especially when she ended up dating Rigby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she had some funny moments too. Like there was that one where they break Margaret's diary and they have to fix it, and they each in order to fix and long story short, they summon this guardian or whatever, and in order to get rid of it, they have to tell a secret.
It's funny.
And Rigby's secret was that she thinks Eileen looked hot without her glasses on, and at the very end, we later learned that she was actually in the apartment, in the other room, and she heard everything. And so when she comes out, she's not wearing her glasses, and they're playing this music, and she's walking up, and then she just bangs the table, and that was the end of the episode.
It's funny the way you describe that episode. It's such a regular show style episode. Like they break a diary, all that craziness happens, and then it goes back to being regular. It's such a regular show dynamic, and like there's that meme on TikTok where it's like Benson rake the leaf, like where Benson rake the leaves, Rigby and Mordecai and Rigby, and then it shows like a clip of like madness happening, and then like it being completely normal.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any favorite side characters in regular show?
Favorite side characters? Oh man,
I like Gary.
Oh yeah, Gary. Yeah, he was fun.
And Death. I like Death as well.
Oh yeah, Death.
Death is awesome. I've always loved Death.
I also like Clogbane.
Oh, Clogbane, yeah.
Clogbane, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good character.
What are those babies called? Those babies with the giant heads.
Oh yeah.
I think Don's a good character.
Yeah,
Don.
I like Don.
What else? I'm trying to think of side characters. I like Margaret's dad. I think he's a cool character.
I can't remember what Margaret's dad's name is.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I know he's a helicopter driver.
He's an awesome character. Like every episode,
yeah, I think he's quite good.
I like every episode he's in.
Well, so I guess I might as well talk about our favorite episodes of regular show.
Oh yeah, there's lots to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go first.
I think my favorite's probably the finale. It's a 30-minute episode. It's 11 minute. It concludes the whole series as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the first episode of the regular show, the power.
No, the power.
Yeah, the power.
I've always wanted to date a girl named Power. Imagine if the girl that Mordecai ended up being with actually was called the Power.
Oh yeah, like that was actually her name.
Yeah, I also like the just set at the chairs episode, and they're both the first two episodes of the first series.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the episode of Skip's flashback as well.
Oh yeah. That's another good one.
They're probably my favorites.
Yeah, some great ones there. I mean, the series finale, that's definitely got to be, that's a big standout to me, even though it's kind of cheating because it's a series finale. But then again, if there's a lot of bad series finales out there, but I think regular show, they definitely
It's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely hit the landing with it. But yeah, so that's gotta be a highlight. I also, other episodes I really like. I like the Mordecai and the Rigby's episode where they form a band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun.
I like when they're singing that Thanksgiving song as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, and so that's another one. I already mentioned the Muscle Dad episode. I mentioned that already. I'm trying to think of anything else. I know there's more. So far, I'm blanking right now. Oh boy.
What was the first episode you ever saw?
First episode I saw.
Would it be the pilot for you?
Yeah, for me, I think it was the Power. I think that was the first episode. Oh yeah, now I remember. I also really enjoy the one where it was the Hello Governor one.
Hello Governor.
Hello Governor. That whole thing. I love that one. That's me. That's me. Like my brother is also a big fan of regular show, so that episode we quote sometimes. We also like Death Punchies.
That was the first ever episode I saw. Was Death Punchies.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Someone taekwondo the toilet. No.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, that's just naming a couple. I can probably name one more. There's one where I think Mordecai. They want to get like I forgot it was basically their equivalent of the Power Glove. So they entered this video game competition, and instead of
with the BGF.
Yeah. No, I don't think he was in that episode.
GBF.
Yeah,
giant bearded face.
Yeah, which is supposed to be yeah. I don't think he was in that episode, but I know Mordecai had Skips be his partner instead of Rigby because Rigby sucks at video games, and Rigby got very jealous of it.
And I just remember about the
And my favorite, me and my brother's favorite moments is when Rigby pulls out the "Hey, you guys, mind if I play my mixtape?" And it's just this rap thing Rigby recorded just minutes before they left. Why do your friends not pick their friends?
I love the one pull up episode.
Oh yeah, that's another fun one.
What's the episode when you up there? You have to sing that song to save the park.
I don't remember.
It was a really catchy song. They had to write a really catchy song.
Oh yeah. I do remember another episode. It was the Summertime Lovin' episode.
Yes.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
The song gets stuck in their head.
It does.
It follows them everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm. That's probably another one I enjoy a lot. And that's kind of where we first learned Benson can play drums.
Yes.
And Skips plays bass.
Yeah. I love how much is that about it, or do you have any more episodes?
I think I'll call it there.
Okay. I have plenty of episodes to talk about. First off, the episode where Benson does that epic drum solo.
Yeah.
I love the part where when the band comes, it's like this guy, the bass player. It was like the bass player, and he's just like, like really upset. And then the Jumbotron G high or whatever the drum machine is called, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I love the part where it was like, my name is Benson, and I can play that solo.
Yeah. He did. He played it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then like they're like, you want to join the band? And he's like, well, the park is my rock and roll, and like they're like, and then Mordecai, one of them's like, Mordecai's like, what? Rigby's like, what's wrong with him? And then Mordecai's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I love Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get the hat. Rigby really wants the hat. They go. Rigby eats the eggs.
Right.
He's severely allergic. He's like, I thought if I could eat the eggs fast, I could. I thought
I wouldn't notice.
Well, you would be wrong there.
Very wrong.
And then I will say I did not like that there was a part where Benson did kind of step his boundaries, where he's like, maybe if you guys were working, this would have never happened. Like, well, his friend might die, kind of a bad time to say that. And
Yeah, it was.
gets punched in the face. He's like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, and then he was like, you have no friends to Benson, which I thought that was pretty mean of Mordecai to say that.
It's actually good because I know that episode got them an Emmy.
Yeah, and then that episode, that scene where with the I need a hero. All that.
Bonnie Tyler, yeah.
Great scene. And I love the fight scene while Mordecai's eating the omelet. It was like, you have chosen excellence or whatever. And then they put the hat on it, he magically gets better, and then he's like, and then the commercial for the steak ad, he was like, if you eat the eggs, I'll eat the steak. And then like Mordecai's
you think
like,
he'll go back in a coma if we take the hat off? Only one way to find out.
It's like, no. Great episode. I love the episode Cool Bikes, where like the entire episode they were trying to get Benson to give him back the carts by acting cool and dressing up cool, and they ended up getting arrested because, quote, they were too cool. And then they like break up Benson, and he's like, you shouldn't lie under oath, that isn't cool. And then he's like, Mordecai and Rigby are the coolest people I know. And then like at the end it was like, can we get the carts back because we're cool? He's like, no. It's all that for nothing. And,
I just thought of 2 more episodes myself. But I'll let you finish yours first.
Sure. Another one, Fuzzy Dice.
That's another one of my favorites. Fuzzy Dice, yeah.
I love the Freddy Fazbear and all that kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's.
It was kind of around that time where that was when that was popular.
Love that episode. I also they try to get 1 million tickets. He's like, he's like, can we just buy? He's like, you have to sell the tickets if you want the tickets or earn them. And he's like, how much for a ticket? And it was like, I think it was like a penny for like every ticket. It was like, oh, like cool, that's like $10. And like, no, dude, it's like $10,000. Like, oh, like Rigby was like, cool, that's like $10. Like it's like $10,000. He's like, oh, and then like Benson turns back. He's like, okay, guys, we're gonna have to earn the tickets. And then Skip's like, yeah, we were here the whole time. Like you didn't have to repeat what we just literally heard. Like sometimes I know shows do that, like where like a character's like, okay, guys, we got to do this. But I like it when Benson did that and Skips was like, yeah, we heard. We literally were right here when we literally heard what was going on. You didn't have to repeat that. kind of unimportant. And I like the sequel episode, Stake Me Armageddon, where
Amadeus,
where Mordecai had fake Amadeus money. It's a really cool episode. I like at the end where he's like, Bear's like, school is overrated. I didn't go to school and look at me. And then I don't want to reveal what happened, but it revolves around school for a certain character, and like the owner like destroys all the animatronics. He's like, no one talks about that way about college education in my restaurants. I thought that was awesome scene. I really liked the final episode. You guys summed it up really well. That's definitely a really cool episode to see the way that Pops ends up, the way that ended up turning out. Exit 9B is an awesome episode. The one where like most of the characters' memory was like gone. They became different characters basically, and not different characters, but they had different lives. For Skips, they had to mention that the girl, and then he's like, oh, okay, and then with my favorite is when they got back Muscle Man, and Mordecai's like, you know what else is C equals 8? Yes, sir. That will be my mom. and then he gets back to normal, and then No, I thought that was a funny episode. It's like, yes, C. He's like, what? You know what else equals C equals A? That's so funny scene. I feel like it would have been better if it was a little bit of a longer episode because all they did for high five Ghost was just give him a high five, and
Yeah.
I feel like if the episode was a little longer, it would have been better, in my opinion. What
There's
what
a
else?
lot of really strong episodes.
Oh yeah, there's too many to count from. It's just
I like the one with the ducks,
oh yeah,
the
that's your baby ducks.
but I think I remember my all-time favorite. It was the one when they went to karaoke bar.
Oh, karaoke, yeah.
That's my little brother's episode.
Karaoke or something like that. That used to be my favorite episode. That one.
Yeah,
That's my
Pops
little
killed it
brother's
on Footloose.
Yes.
It was the first ever time I heard that song.
Yeah.
It was a regular show.
I mean, I guess we can segue because regular show just has pretty awesome soundtrack throughout
Yes.
its run.
It's great soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pick a
I
favorite
bet
song.
it probably cost Cartoon Network a ton of money to get the licensing for those songs.
It was definitely worth it though.
Yeah.
My favorite episode, if I had to pick, will probably be the graduation episode with Rigby, because even though Mordecai was kind of unbearable in that episode, I think Rigby really showed his maturity the most, and that graduation speech always gets me when he did that big speech, and it's like a great climatic way to end off that season because everyone's ready for the after party, and that's when the park ends up going to space. That's such a cool episode. That's if I had to pick, that's probably my favorite episode in the entire show.
Do you guys have a favorite moment in the entire series?
I think for me, I think
just favorite episodes, really.
Yeah, I think I pretty much summed it up when we talked about some of our favorite episodes because I think those have those big moments.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think when it went to space?
That was kind of when I was not watching regular show at that time, so
I was crazy on the space idea, really.
Yeah,
I thought the space episodes were good.
I thought it was good, but yeah, it wasn't as good as it was when they were back in Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my favorite regular show moment in terms of moments, my very favorite moment was the speech that Rigby made. That's just to me my all-time favorite regular show moment because that really cemented.
Be up there.
It really shows Rigby's growth as a character.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the regular show movie?
That movie's great. I love that movie.
It's good.
Yeah, I really like. I think I've only seen it once or twice, but I remember really liking it.
Yes, it was pretty good.
Great music in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. They played a Velvet Underground song, which was kind of surprising. They played Pale Blue. It was Pale Blue Eyes.
Cool. I don't remember that being in the movie.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know Velvet Underground, so I didn't recognize the song.
Yeah.
But I might as well share my ranking of the episodes in the first season. It came with 11, the box set I got. So I go with number 11, which is Meet Your Maker, which I'm not too crazy on that episode.
Yeah.
It's a very weird one, where the sausages end up eating one another.
I'm not
really weird.
I don't like that episode at all.
Number 10 is the unicorns. I've got to go.
Yeah, that's probably my least favorite of that season.
I hate that episode a lot.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that one.
It's just Rigby being petty that Mordecai wouldn't hang out with him.
Yeah, the unicorns were pretty annoying too.
Yeah. When number 9 is.
Yeah. I'll say the best part of that episode is when Benson was like, Mordecai or Rigby was like, are they coming back? And then, I'm not gonna tell you what the pony said to Benson, but Benson was like, nope. they exploded. He was like, nope, they ain't coming back.
But number 9 is Rigby's body, which is probably quite a filler episode. Not really much happens in that one, really.
There was one moment I liked. It was kind of when Rigby did get his body back, and the life comes in, and Mordecai's like, "Dude, how are you feeling?"
The episode, the best part of the episode is that one moment.
Oh no. So there's a scene that I'm remembering where Skip's like, "We did it the nice way. Now we're doing it the Skip's way." I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no!" Even as a kid, I was like, "What's going on here?"
I'll get to my number 8, which is the grilled cheese deluxe, where you were lying all day.
Yeah.
An episode. My number 7's Dom. 6 is free cake. 5 is caffeinated concert tickets. That guy just says coffee. Coffee.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? Your coffee sucks.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, what kind of bird is that? It's just, I don't know. Just
I don't know. They're having their moment.
Yeah.
My number 4 is prank callers. 3 is death punchies. 2 is just set the chairs, and 1 the power. The power's my favorite episode of the first season.
Sweet.
I also got a message from Jason saying that his power's back on.
Hey.
It should be on Jason's live streams again in the next few days. But I enjoyed discussing the regular show.
Yeah, this was great. Yeah, again, just another fun show. Again, I always have nostalgia for it, and it's good to go back to every once in a while. Yeah, overall, just a fun show, and again, it was very different for Cartoon Network because it definitely had the most adult-oriented jokes, stuff that will probably go over a kid's head. But again, like I said, I think I said it earlier, but it's definitely a show. As you get older, it gets even funnier. I think.
I think this for any age, really. Right, so I think anyone can really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we conclude this, do you guys have any other favorite regular shows? Any favorite Cartoon Network shows?
Just in general?
Yeah, general.
Okay. I mean, I already named a few, like the ones that I have nostalgia for, like Edda and Nettie was one that I remember watching a lot.
Gumball, of course.
Gumball, yes. Adventure Time. I also loved Steven Universe when that was airing. I was a big Steven Universe fan.
All his Lego series on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. I think those are like some of the big shows that I watched a lot. Of course, Cartoon Network would play like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, which I also enjoyed as well. But in terms of like the newer stuff, like that was the one I watched a lot.
Johnny Test.
Yeah,
Test.
Yeah, I liked it when I was younger. I haven't watched it since.
But yeah, they're probably the ones I saw the most. Also, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh yeah, that was another great one.
I thought that show was actually quite scary.
Yeah, it was, and that's kind of why we liked it.
Wasn't it Uncle Grandpa?
Yeah, that was one I didn't. That was one of those experimental shows I didn't watch.
Yeah,
I don't like that show.
I didn't mind Pizza Steve though. Pizza Steve.
Yeah, I remember him.
I didn't really care about the rest of it though.
Yeah.
I had a couple of funny moments.
Yeah.
That's it for this regular show live stream. If anyone watches this after the fact, please let us know your thoughts on regular show.
Yep, and hopefully for the people who have not seen or heard a regular show, hopefully you found it entertaining because what we talked about probably didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I highly recommend anyone watching this who's not seen it to go in and watch it yet. Do you guys have any final words? Any regular show quotes to end this with?
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many quotes. There's so many quotes. Like, which one am I going to choose?
Yeah. Not saying up the chairs next time. That's like
exactly. I'm already sitting in my chair, so I'm good.
And this live stream or you're fired.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end it now then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time. Ciao. Goodbye.